my time when I was in India, and I saw a
Mm-hmm.
couple of kids playing badminton,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I can't disappoint my country. I gotta play
Uh-huh.
badminton. So I went up to the kids and I'm like, give me the racket. I'm Malaysian. I'm gonna play badminton with you
So
guys.
you did it. You
I did
did
it.
play. You
I
did?
did. I
I
did.
hope you won.
No, I didn't. That was horrible. I brought shame to my country as well.
He talks a lot,
Hello there, welcome to He Talks a Lot, guys. This is your host Mandar, and in today's episode, on this very first episode of YouTube, we've got Mr. Wei Hern. Wei Hern is an executive creative director in one of the biggest ad agencies in the world in Malaysia, and I wanted to bring him just so that we can just start chill, share some stories. It's nothing serious, and we shared a lot of things, guys, from biking to diving, and of course we spoke about us being thrashed by canes. Yeah, that's very common in Asia, which I found. And it was just a chill conversation. It just felt like as if two friends have met in a bar and just chit chatting. Wehan in the house, enjoy.
We are in record mode, man. So we just go for it, okay? There's not going to be cut and all that clap and nothing.
Sure.
So we will keep it like this, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. I
And
keep you
thank you so
busy.
much. Thank you so much for coming on. He Talks a Lot. This is just so you know our first video podcast.
Thank you so much for
And
having me.
no worries, man. It's been my pleasure, and I wanted to get you here. Um, it's been
Is it
some
like
time we have
family
spoken.
friendly or is it like casual and like candid or
Just, just be ourselves, man. But how are you, man? How is weekend going on?
It was great. I went night cycling last night. So that was like I went mountain biking in the trails in Sungai Long um, at 7:30 sundown. So that was quite an experience.
Hey, you cycle quite often, is it? Like I recently saw a
Yeah,
picture of
yeah, I
yours wherein
do.
you have fallen somewhere and
Yeah, I fall a lot, yes.
you fall a lot.
I fall a lot.
Okay, you fall a lot, I talk a lot. That's great. So
Nice.
where was this, man? Hey, you go regularly, is it on weekends?
Yeah, I try to go at least twice a week.
And what about your destination? You just plan it or you just go for it? Like,
Um, if there are no plans and it's just a quick hit and run, I think I picked it up during lockdown, right? This is my childhood hobby. I've been cycling and I live in Tamantun, so it's next to Kiara. I grew up there at the rubber estates
hey,
and
you
all
are a
that. Cycling
Tamatun
was
boy,
top.
right?
Tamantun boy, cycling through the rubber estates. And then during lockdown, everybody picked up road biking, right? And I thought, hey, I miss mountain biking. So I just picked up a bike. And yeah, so I think I'm very lucky. I have a trail and a little hill near my place. You should come and hike with the family. It's called Kota Damansara Community Forest,
Okay.
and it's got really nice trails. So if I've got no plans and it's just a simple early morning thing, do a hit and run, 8 o'clock. Hit and run might not be a good example for cycling, but yeah, I just do a quick ride
Hey, but
for a
then
couple of
do you
hours. Yeah.
you know what? I've like recently went for a hike in Montclair, there's a small hike around here.
Mm.
Uh, and I saw this biker who was coming at a pace from the top, and
Yeah.
in a very narrow, how those trails are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do the same,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. We do those trails. Yeah.
dude, that's like crazy, man. Because I
It's
was just
fun.
like,
Yeah.
no, as much as it sounds fun, and we were in a group, I remember, and this guy just like, I saw him coming, and all we didn't have to, we just were like, we stood aside, we gave him
Yep.
a
Yep.
way, and he in a fraction of seconds he was gone down, and we all just looked down, and we were just praying for his safety. It was that speed.
Yeah. I
And you
mean,
do the same.
doesn't describe me. You might still you might still see me when you're praying for me, but I do the same trails. Yes.
Shit. And
Yeah.
hey, you got a group, is it?
I've got a couple of friends who I cycle with regularly,
Uh-huh.
and of course, depends because they ride a few other types of bikes. Road biking, gravel. I do
Right.
I do mainly mountain biking. So I have one friend who's my kind of like ride or die, and we just ride religiously every weekend, um, whether it's with anyone or not. But it's a great
Right.
community. Like you can just, I've been on like full day trips with people that I've met in the trails. Like, in Tamantun, we were cycling, and then they're like, "Hey, man, you want to follow us for this trail?" And at the end of the ride,
Uh-huh.
they're like, "Oh, we're going to ride Semuanya. You want to join us tomorrow?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." Then the crew just builds up. So it's nice. It's kind of like diving. It's like a nice community that people are just very welcoming and accommodating to people of all levels as well. It's good. Good fun. Good fun.
Is it because I've never done this, and there must be a high, right? You get like, I mean, it's I don't know if I should compare it with running, but like this is different, right?
Very different. It's very
Very
different.
different.
There's definitely that adrenaline rush. There's definitely, yeah, there's definitely more action packed.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I mean, like, we're not like the most flexible of hours, the tours, the tour of duties that we do. So you're never gonna get as good as you want to be. So it's always scary, and that's the fun part, actually.
This reminds me of my bike trip. I mean, motorbike trip. I went to Ladakh, in India.
Wow,
So that was
wow.
that was in the Himalayas, and that was the only time I've done. And I mean, it is very different from what you do, but I get that high you're talking about, which is
I'm sure
it,
of
it,
it, man.
it it's a very different high, man. Because
Different.
uh,
Yeah.
like to ride a bike on, especially your 350 cc's. Those, I don't know if you know this. They call bullets in India, the Royal
Mm.
Enfield.
Yes.
So the Royal Enfield, and I think those are the bikes actually you can survive in that.
Those are the workhorses, right?
Those workhorses, man. And you
Mm.
know and and for me, right, I thought, so basically what I did was I went away from KL. I just took a break. I was like, hey, you know what, I need to go somewhere, like a 15-day trip. And the fun part was, in that trip, I wanted to be away from Malaysia, everything. Like, it was my solo trip. A friend joined me in my team, because we were in a group, right?
Yep.
17 Malaysians joined me. Can you beat that?
This
17
was in
Malaysians
India,
in
or is it?
India,
Wow.
out of everywhere. Like, I ran away from Malaysia. Just I needed a break.
Can't run
17
away from Malaysians.
Malaysians, dude, you can't. And it just so happened that all these, they're all the production guys, and their girlfriends. And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. So
so
they're the crew that bring their own bikes over, right?
No, 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 no. They all rented. Like, we all
Right.
rented the bikes, but they were like, to. I mean, I could make out that they really do it like regular, biking, and they go to Sapang, and on weekends, and do their, like, the biking trips and all that.
That's
And
amazing.
that was the trip which, I mean, it was just crazy, man. Like, the high you get. And on bike trips, and I don't know this on, I'm talking about motorbikes, right? So you think about going in the mountains, and you want to, like, hey, you want to look back at life, think what to do. And you want, like, you always think about that. And maybe these ads screwed it up for me, man. What I saw on TV, like, I remember there's this ad in India. It was, and I have that bike back home. The line was, feel like God.
Wow.
So
I have
now,
to shake the hand of the guy who actually sold that line, man.
feel like God was the line, and it was shots of the same setting I went to. So this guy on a motorbike, and he's just going, and of course, different things in life he's thinking, and what he's left behind, whatever, right? And I was like, I thought that was going to be my trip, dude. Little did I know, on that road, I got to be so focused on the road, because out of the blue, things might come up on the road, and it's a never-ending road. So it was, crazy, man. The experience there. Sorry to take
Ladakh
away
is the
from you,
one where
man.
it's at the peak, the most dangerous road. Is that the one that they
The
say is
highest
one
peak.
of the most
So
dangerous? Yeah,
so there is
with
there is
trucks
this.
and all that, like on single lanes and all that. Is that the
Yeah, yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So on bikes,
Oh
it's
my
okay, because you
goodness.
you you can just, like, you can go through, right? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
the highest peak road is, called the Khardungla Pass, which is like extreme high, and I don't even know how to explain you. So I went there as well, but it's so draining mentally more than physically. Like riding nonstop for like 11 days, covering some 800
Wow.
odd kilometers, and you are
Sounds
in a
beautiful,
convoy,
man.
dude. Like, you know what? I'll tell you. I while I was riding there, and I of course I fell once, and there came a time wherein there were like 11 turns on the mountain. So it's this particular
Yep,
mountain
yep.
there. It's got these 11 or 20 odd turns. So it's supposed to be very beautiful, and that's one of the spots which bikers kind of look forward to because it just curves,
Mm.
man. And what happened was, and that part of India, right? There are no rain. Like rain is like once a year, and it just
Mm.
so
Mm.
happened that when I went,
That
it was raining.
that one day.
That 2 days actually. So
Oh my goodness.
two
You must be
days, and
freezing.
dude, it was like 1 degree,
Oh
right? One
shit.
degree,
Oh god.
like 15,000 feet, kind of like altitude, and you need to get
Plus
like you
you're
need to have
riding, right? The wind is in your face and all
the
that.
the wind and the
The
rain
wind chill.
and the
Mm.
windshield, right? And you constantly need to
Yep,
make
yep,
sure
yep.
you see things. And it just so happened that in one of the, I remember, there was a point where it was raining so heavily that accidentally, I don't know how it happened, I just like for a fraction of a second my eyes was closed. They were closed.
Mm.
And the next thing I know, that I was like right at the edge of the cliff, and I somehow like controlled my bike, and I remember I broke down, man. I didn't even know I
You
broke down.
you okay. Your bike broke
Yeah,
down or you
no,
broke
I
down
broke down,
or
man. I broke down. Bike was okay, man.
okay.
It just somehow I bike because
That's an ad
I
for
somehow
Royal Enfield, man. You break down before the bike does.
exactly. That's another thing for Enfield, right? And
Mm.
when you hear things about you have flashes in your at that moment, all those
Yep.
things happened to me, like the families and all that, like wife, kid, mom, dad, and everyone came in my like in fraction of seconds, and I didn't even know. I was like sobbing, man, and I realized I it is it's a never ending stretch, man. You should go
Yeah.
there once.
Yeah.
It's a never ending
Yeah.
stretch. So it's just larger than life mountains,
Yeah.
and it's just you and the mountain. So it doesn't matter, you might be the CEO of the company or whatever you
Correct.
might be, right? You're
Yeah.
so small in front of the mountains
You are nothing.
that
Yes.
absolutely
Your
nothing,
title
and it
means
was
Jack.
jack shit. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god. And I remember I was just like talking to myself and talking to my family members. Each member, I remember my mom, dad, wife, and all. I'm trying to tell them that what I'm, and there's no network, right? So absolute no phone network. So you got to travel around 250 kilometers a day in those mountains. So I don't know. That was crazy, man. Like crazy high. I'm talking about from. I will get back to your biking. Hey, by the way, you
No
dive as well,
worries,
is
man.
it?
I dive, yeah, not as often as I would like, of course, but I love diving. Biking is
But
my,
then
yeah, I
but
love
diving is your
driving, but
thing, lah.
well, driving, yeah, I like driving. I like diving, and I like mountain bike. I guess mountain biking.
Hey, in
Because mountain
Malaysia.
biking is the most convenient one, and it's a
Oh
really
yeah,
great
yeah,
way
yeah,
to see Malaysia. Like the
yeah,
trails
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but
Mm.
for even for diving, Malaysia is beautiful, right?
Exactly, exactly. I mean, people pay premium to go to Sabah, right? And it's just in our
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah.
Yeah, so I can't imagine why we wouldn't. If you're Malaysian, you should dive. Definitely. That's what I would recommend.
Y- I mean, I've spoken to a few people because I want to do it. I haven't done it.
Mm,
Like of course,
let's
I
do
do.
it.
No, like dude, really, like snorkeling and all that thing
Do you
I've done.
swim?
Because yeah, I
Can you
swim.
swim?
Yeah, I can swim.
Easy. Then it's easy. Are you afraid of
No,
heights?
not anymore. No, you know what? I
Are
used to
you
be afraid of.
claustrophobic?
No,
Okay, so
but I'll
these are
tell
the
you
two things
something.
that usually people will have psychological first impressions of diving. It's heights, or very weird. It's afraid of heights and afraid and claustrophobia. Really weird.
Oh, but
Because
like I'll
yeah,
tell you before I mean, when I started my snorkeling journey in Thailand, typical, tourist you go,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah,
was scared of looking under the water,
yeah, yeah.
and I remember, and I should not swim then, but
Mm.
what happened? There was this one. I mean, there's nothing racist, but there was this one white kid. Okay, one white kid. He must be around nine,
Is
nine,
he
10.
Australian? Yeah. So they're not racist, they're like nationalists now.
Nationalist. Let's assume he was Australian white kid. So what happened was, so what happened was, so I went there, and then we had to jump in, right? So
Yeah.
so of course they gave me the floating guard and all that thing, and I was just like holding on to the boat, and I was just scared looking down. You're supposed to look,
Oh
right?
man.
So I was
Okay.
just like, because for the first time it happened to me, like I'm in the middle of the sea, and I'm like looking around, and then of course, let's assume Australians were all around me, right? um,
Okay.
and then this kid, right, Ryan, he just he just happened to like go across me in the water,
Yeah.
and he had no like lifeguard or whatever. He was just
Yeah.
doing his thing, and he gave me a look, man.
A judgy
you know
look.
you know that look at these Indians. He gave me that
Wow.
look, really, I could see
Let me
that.
just close my eyes and picture the look at this Indians look from an
Exactly.
Australian
An
9-year-old Australian
Australian
kid.
9-year-old Australian kid giving me that look, and I'm like, I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling
Okay,
bad
I
for my
got it. I
country.
got that look.
You, yeah, you got it right.
You gotta
I'm
represent
feeling,
your country, man.
dude. Imagine this one. I was feeling bad for myself. Then I felt even worse for my country, and I was like, if 1.2 billion people find this out, it's not going to be great, right? So then you know what happened? Actually, because of that, I came back to KL and I learned swimming.
You disappoint your ancestors, man. Don't disappoint your
No,
ancestors.
I
It's
don't think
kind
my
of like me.
ancestors.
This reminds me of my time when I was in India and I saw a
Mm-hmm.
couple of kids playing badminton,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I can't disappoint my country. I gotta play
Uh-huh.
badminton. So I went up to the kids and I'm like, give me the racket. I'm Malaysian. I'm gonna play badminton with you
So
guys.
you did it. You
I did
did
it.
play. You
I
did.
did. I
I
did.
hope you won.
No, I didn't. That was horrible. I brought shame to my country as well.
No, but just coming back to your point about my ancestors, I don't think they knew to swim. I'm 100%
Whereabouts
sure.
from India? Whereabouts in India are you from, actually?
I'm born and brought up in Mumbai.
Ah, okay.
So but my
Mumbai.
kampung is
What?
Mumbai.
Ah, your kampung.
My
Yeah, yeah,
kampung
yeah, I
is
know.
have you heard about Goa?
Yeah, how can you
Yeah.
not
So
swim? How can your ancestors not swim if you're from Goa? What the heck?
no, 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 no. I'm not from
And
Goa.
you know how to
I'm just
party, your ancestors.
three. No, la. Hey, you know what? We don't party also.
Stereotype, Goa stereotype.
No,
Sorry.
exactly. The best part is, like, my family, my uncle and whoever lives in my kampung, we are like 3 hours away from Goa, actually.
Ah, okay, okay.
They went to Goa for the first time, if I'm not wrong, 9 years back. I with me.
Hmm.
They never been to Goa.
Wow. Wow.
So they don't know all this party and all which the world talks about Goa. Of course,
Yep,
now
yep.
it's popular and it's YouTubes and all. They've seen videos and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
But they have no idea, dude. Like they know about
Ah.
Goa, but no one bothers to go to Goa. And their swimming, right, is swimming in the well. Like in my kampung, there's a well,
Swimming
like a
in
common.
the how big is this well? Is it like a swimming pool well or what the heck?
No, it's like a circular well wherein how it works is that uh, the women in the families, they go, and this is back then, yeah, they used to go on the well and literally pull up water and come back and fill in the water. This was, like, I'm talking about 10, 15 years back. So well was purely used for, because the water, the rainwater, it's saved in that particular well. They have to, like, literally, there used to be a rope. So the
Hmm.
women, they put there's a big bowl of where they collect the water. So they put it
Yeah.
in the well, and then you get it home. So there are kids along to help out and all that, right? But
Yeah.
then the kids from the village used to jump in the well, man. And it's deep, it's not, I'm not
It
talking about
doesn't
like
sound
some.
very safe, man.
Actually, there's this guy called Mr. Beast. Have you heard about him?
He's an animal, man. His content, like, who the hell funds him, man? Don't tell me
Dude,
this is all money from YouTube that he's pushing. Like,
this
that is
guy, I mean,
crazy.
crazy, right? So,
Yeah,
so this guy, right? Because I used to follow, I mean, I still follow him, but I was like, hey, man, this guy is crazy, right? He's got some 200 odd million subscribers. Okay.
yeah.
So, so, you know what he's done is so smart, man. So he went online and he kind of found out that in the world only 10% people speak English.
Hmm.
10%. The rest speak whatever languages, right? So
Yep.
what he did was he was like, shit, that means 90% of my content, whatever I do, is not being consumed,
Yep.
right? So what he did was he started Mr. Beast Spanish. Okay, example.
Ah.
So what he did, he basically started another channel. He uploaded all his videos and he started dubbing his voice. So he got like a dubbing artist. So
Yep.
there's a Spanish guy who dubs his voice. So now suddenly the entire Spanish channel is open for him. So now Mr. Beast Spanish. Then there is Mr. Beast Brazil, Mr. Beast whatever. So I was like, wow, smart, right? I was like, it just the way, and it's so logical, right? And he's just uploading the same videos where whatever he's done. And I
Yep.
was like, wow, crazy. And he started at age 11. His story is like beautiful, man. Started at age 11. Parents wanted to send him to like uni or whatever. He used to not go to school, but he used to sit in his car and edit videos. Eventually had to tell parents about it. And of course they were mad like any other parent, but of course now they're very happy, right? And he's got a team of, 100 people now.
Wow.
100 people, man. He's got his own team,
Agency
100
size.
people.
Yeah.
Exactly, agency size. And
Probably
what he
higher
does is
billings, way higher billings.
way higher billings because all the money, of
Yeah.
course, comes from the sponsors or whatever, and of course, YouTube pays him
Yeah.
as well. But what he was telling was that whatever money he gets, he puts it back in content.
Hmm.
So in like in a month, he's earning some millions, right? So
I think
in a
I think that's such a fundamental part of business that handicaps us from a Mr. Beast, for example.
yeah,
You feel like as a we're all employees in a public listed company and all that, right? So
I know.
that point, right, the part of the funding goes back into the business is so important.
And I was like, wow, so he was because I remember he's made this Squid Games video. I don't know if you've seen that. So
That is the
during
one that
the
that was what actually got his name to in my radar.
yeah,
Who is this Mr. Beast? I'm like, how the hell did he
so
get all this money? Like, what the heck, man?
dude, he spent like 4 million on it. Okay, on creating that video. So
Just the
that was his
production.
just the production I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So that was his highest, I think one of the highest produced videos. And
Yeah, yeah, it looks
basic
polished, man.
and you know what the thing is that he of course he's been offered billions to take over and blah 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 blah, and it just he's not doing it because he wants to do it for another 10 years and see where it goes and blah blah blah. It's already 200 million one channel. He's got that Spanish and whatever, right? That has got some another 15 mil or whatever. So
Hmm.
in a month, if you look at sponsorships, and YouTube earning might be comparatively smaller than his sponsorships or whatever comes
Yep.
from ad revenue and all that. And it just like crazy learning when you just listen to him. So like he was telling that uh like before he got going, so he started his videos, and then he's got these other five friends. Okay, so one is a like a college dropout, one quit his job, was not doing anything. So basically all these nerds, they all came together, and what they used to do was for 1,000 days, every morning from like as like if I'm not wrong, from 7 a.m. and at times until 10 p.m. They used to only talk about making videos, about what is the best, best way to do thumbnails. What is the how do we make sure the retention rate is, you know, like it doesn't fall off, or what can be done. So like 1,000 days of just pure homework, man. So I was like, shit. I mean, that's the how do I say it? It's the madness, It's a passion, the madness to a certain thing he wants to do and create content, which just he knows now by just titling and the thumbnail, he will know it's going to get like a million hits. That's
Yep.
uh, how much he studied, lah. I mean, it's nice,
Always got
man, to just
a decade head start, right? Everybody sees the success of that video, but nobody knows the hustle he put in, the
no,
hard work
no
he puts
one,
in, right?
no
Yeah,
one, no.
that's amazing.
The, I mean, have you heard about this stand-up comedian called Joe Coy?
No.
Joe Coy. So Joe Coy, you need to watch his content. Joky. Okay, he's a American born Filipino. Okay,
Jokay.
yeah. So you
Right.
must see his Netflix special. He's got two Netflix special, and actually he came to KL as well. I went for his show.
Yeah.
So I've attended, like Russell Peters, of course. He's the one, of course, from an Indian point of view, he's the one who every Indian actually got exposed to. No, really.
Yeah.
Like before that, we didn't know like stand up and all. Stand up is very new in India, actually, for the last
Yeah.
decade or so. But like Russell Peters was our shining light. We're like, hey, we've got our people out there who we can relate to, and of course, he was my entry point like any other Indian. So Joe Coy, um, his jokes are all about his family. So his
Hmm.
his his set for an
Yeah, the
hour.
stereotypical Asian family in immigrant in another country kind of thing, right?
Yes. So how his mother came to America and where he was
Yeah. Yeah.
born, and Filipino mom, and and his content is only about his family. All he's got three sisters, mother, his son, and I think one uncle. And he just goes on, man. When you need to watch it, actually, don't miss it out. It's on Netflix. So I mean, like I was trying to, hear his stories. So he's like one of those guys, who actually, he's been doing it for 30 years, man. And now, like
Now
last,
is his time.
now is this time, last 5 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
That gives me hope.
and like, dude, like Netflix said no to him. So his first Netflix special, which, uh, which actually went crazy, right? His Netflix special, he shot it and he produced it. And when Netflix found out that he's doing it, they actually told him, "Hey, we are not producing you." And he begged and begged and begged until eventually they had no choice but to buy it, because it was a massive hit. Because you know what? Before that, he used to like go and like he got arenas like booked like 20 shows in a
Hmm.
week, booked, man, packed. And the size is like, you know what, right? Like 8,000, 10,000 people, 20,000 at times. That size
Yep.
of arenas used to be always booked. So, I mean, I don't know how did I go from Mr. Beast to Jokoi, but I think these two are the people who I kind of like. I was like, shit, it's like next level, right? I mean, I don't know, man. That's the thing which kind of inspires me to, do these things. I'm like, hey, man, there is some small hope if you go like. Actually, the game is consistency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Consistency is the game. It's
Consistency on something that you love.
and you need to, of course, enjoy it,
Yes, for sure.
for sure. But
Yeah.
as long as your people see your effort being put in whatever you're doing, and you're consistent enough, it's the same game for YouTube or whatever. It's just consistency.
Yeah.
There will be a point in time wherein you will know, hey, now, because when you look back, you'll see, oh man, that's shit. What I did like 2 months back, like happens to all of us, right? So I mean, yeah, man. Joe Coy. You should
Some
really
people
watch.
say consistency. Some people call it grit. I think it grits.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that
yeah,
word
yeah, yeah.
grit. You
Great.
know,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Great.
easy to be consistent when things are going well, but it's when
Yeah,
shit hits the fan, man. That's when you like.
I mean, yeah, man. It, but I don't know when you kind of watch these people and all the more the story behind it, because you know why, like podcasting, like what we are doing now is so new in this part of the world.
It is very new. This is so
It is,
new to me as well.
it's
Yeah,
like two people talking, right, literally, but then this has been happening for ages in the States, right?
yeah, yeah.
And if you see the data, right, especially on Spotify, um, if I'm not wrong, 45% of people in the States listen to podcasts. 45%, roughly. Huh? I'm not sure of the number, but that's so, which means while they're traveling or while they are wherever they are, and before you sleep, you know, before you sleep, you want to listen to something which might just help you. Yeah.
You have kids?
Sorry,
You have kids?
I've got one daughter,
How old is she?
eight and a half now. Actually, going to be
Eight and a
nine
half.
soon in
A good
Feb.
age.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, the reason I asked is because my daughter's 11, right? And so it's just very interesting that what you mentioned is spark. This just reminded me of her behavior as well, and it comes to podcasting and all that.
uh-huh.
Um, not new. I guess we listened to music when we were growing up, but these guys, man, like, it's
Yeah,
constantly on music and just
yeah,
constantly needing some kind of company, I guess, like whether it's white noise or something to keep them going,
yeah.
something that.
Roblox is a new thing, right?
So that's the thing. Yeah, my laptop, if I leave it on the table, I'm doing something else. I come back,
Yeah,
there's a Chrome tab,
yeah,
switched over, and Roblox is there. When I switch it off, when I go to work, I'm like, why is there music on my headphones? Like, where is it coming from? The hidden tab somewhere,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah.
playlist, and while they're playing Roblox as well. And the funny thing about Roblox is they grew up watching streamers, right? So when
Yeah.
they play, they don't just play. Like for us, like I love gaming as well. So we just play in silence. We just
Mm.
immerse ourselves like a book, right? We grew up
Yeah,
reading books. We grew up playing
yeah,
games that way. These guys, they're playing halfway. Oh my god, I'm going in now. I'm coming in now. All right, I'm playing this. I'm setting up, and they're just casting themselves naturally
yeah, yeah.
because they've seen that's the culture or behavior they grew up in. They look at all
Yes.
the videos on YouTube. People are always talking when they're gaming, so they
Yeah.
talk when they game, and that's a natural way. I was like, are you on Twitch? No, she's not on Twitch. She's just playing naturally. She's not. Are you with friends? No, I'm not with my friends.
Yeah.
She's just talking out loud as she plays, like a caster and a streamer. So that's so interesting to
Same.
me. So
I've
so
just,
amusing.
yeah, it is that. And because like this is what I actually 2 weeks back, my daughter in her room was talking to someone, and I was like, who's she talking to? Then I realized she's on Roblox. She's talking to her friend who both are playing the
Yeah.
same game, and her best friend. And I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming at. I was like, she's eight and a half. But I was like, hey, you need to accept it that that's the way it's gonna be, right?
Does
And
she
and they
know
know,
this
man.
best friend, by the way? Just question,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
does she know who she is?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
She
so
lives in the condo next door.
hmm,
So
I've
same
got my
class.
younger daughter. She's more introverted, and she doesn't. And she always tells me, yeah, I don't have friends in school, blah blah blah. You know, she talks like that. And her best friends are all virtual. They exchange phone numbers. Of
Ah,
course, I pass her my phone, so they call on my
uh-huh.
phone, so I know who she is, see the
Yeah.
videos and all that. Like this, it's an 8 year old
But in
girl in
Malaysia
Singapore.
itself, or what? Oh, in Singapore. Oh, outside of
Singapore
Malaysia.
girl,
Oh, okay.
outside of Malaysia. So she has
Wow.
sort of what we call pen pals, right? Like yeah,
Yeah,
these
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
friends,
yeah.
and they yeah. So in her world, these are all her besties, right? These friends. So scary
Yeah.
and interesting at the same time, right?
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I get you, man, because I know this a friend of mine, I think a colleague, actually, yeah, colleague. So she's same, a very introvert, but her world is this world, what you just mentioned about your kid, and basically they have meetings, strategy meetings, every Friday night. So so
Wow.
uh, these gamers from wherever in the world, so
Yeah.
they all have this 1 hour meeting, and then they continue playing, strategize and all that until, so it's the weekend thing. And like she was telling me that some of them are in the U.S. Army, like couple of
Wow. So the
yeah, yeah,
Americans.
yeah. American armies, they actually, like, wherever they are based, so whenever they get time they jump on it, like. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So there are some army men, some teacher, some if I'm not wrong, uh, a detective, and it just like, these are the people, who come together, have one passion, and then of course, as you get to know about them, they kind of share their families, and like I know this one guy she was mentioning who's in the Middle East, if I'm not wrong, in Saudi. So they exchange books now. So she sends him books, and he sends her in return. And I was like, wow. But that's only through gaming, huh? That's their community actually. And yeah, man. And they, like, I don't think she cares about what's happening in the world, especially in Malaysian with her friend. I mean, of course, she's an introvert kid, right? But
Hmm.
it's so crazy for me to listen to those stories, because I was like, wow, right? So interesting actually on one side. And of course, she's an adult and all that, unlike your kid. She's 11, right? You said.
11 and 10, I've got two.
Oh yeah, one of them does ballet, if I'm not wrong. I saw some video.
Yeah, yeah.
Both
One
of
of
them,
them
or
is only one. The other one sort of, yeah, she decided it wasn't a thing. The other one, she prefers drawing and being in her own world. The eldest one is very full on in ballet. Yeah.
that, because if I'm not wrong, you had posted a video a couple of days back. I think you had gone to a
Yeah.
class or something, right?
Actually, it wasn't me. It was someone's a classmate sent that video, so sent it in the group chat.
Oh,
So we got it. But yeah, usually parents are, yeah, parents hardly, very rarely are allowed to be in there. So that was quite nice to see, I guess.
yeah. You know what? Because like with my daughter also, right? She learns Kathak, which is Indian classical dance.
Ah,
And it's just a couple of condos. Her teacher lives around here.
hmm,
So, and what I've realized is that with her classes, like be her swimming, dancing, and now recently tennis, if we are around her, and she's an introvert kid, like absolute introvert, right? She'll not be able to do a thing.
hmm.
So you got to go away from her,
Yeah,
and let
yeah,
her
yeah,
let her be with the coach or teacher,
yeah, yeah.
and then she's herself. But if you ask her after the class how was it, her replies was okay. I mean, like, dude, I'm expecting, like, hey, tell me more. But then I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, that's the answer I'm gonna get. And she's like, Dara, you can't force me to answer you every time. I'm like,
Wow.
sure. I'm like, sure. And then she plays me with logic, man, like absolute logic. And then I'm like, okay, can't.
Imagine like our time, you tell our parents like that. You tell me no, tell you.
Uh, I, of course, like, I would be out of the house
Yeah,
if I
exactly.
tell that. Like,
One
I
slipper in your face,
not just
or a
slipper lah with
cane, or a
Indian.
hanger.
With Asian parents is what, a slipper, hanger, and cane, is it? Like,
What's the worst weapon you you had growing up?
okay, I'll tell you. I think I
I
have
want to
no.
know.
Belt was definitely there.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
okay,
Belt was there. Cane was there. And with my mom,
of
right, she was
course.
so damn. No, I'll tell you what happened about this cane story. This is very funny. So, first time when she got the cane and I was in school, right, I broke it. It was like, I broke it and I threw it. Okay.
Hmm.
The next thing I
You
know,
thought it was you
that
tried to trick the system.
no, yes, I thought I was a smart ass here, right? So
Yeah.
next thing I know, that of course, there came another day wherein my mom used it, and then I realized because I used to run around in the house, right?
Of
And
course.
mom running behind me like any other kid,
Yes.
right? Dude,
Giving
my
her
mom
exercise. Yes. Good for the heart.
exactly. And the thing is, my mom was even smart as this time she brought 4 canes, okay,
Ah,
and those canes were strategically placed in wherever I could like I used to go, and my house was like
no escape.
small, man. Yeah, so there's no escape. So any room she goes or wherever she goes, there was a cane in the kitchen. I remember kitchen. Who keeps a cane in the kitchen? She kept it in the bedroom, kitchen, living room, and one day, I mean, I think this is very American, but I tried it with my mom saying, "Do you know what will happen if I tell this to people outside? How you beat me?" And I was in school, and you know what she told me, and she was like, uh, "I'll take you to our neighbor." So this neighbor of ours, his mom used to throw a knife. So the
Oh my God.
the I was like, but of course it's like it's not the sharp ones, you know, but that was her reference point. So I was like, but because there's no comeback after that, you're like, oh yeah, my mom is better because she's not throwing knife at me at least. And
Yeah.
she's like, do you want that, or you want to be here in the house, or you can leave the house? And of course, you got no choice. But hey, there was belt, there was cane, slippers happen once in a while. But yeah, actually, but actually anything like whatever comes in the hand,
I
right?
I have a multiple case story as well on my end. So I got caned in school,
Cane in
and
school.
yeah, yeah, in school you get
Oh
caning in
wow,
school. Like
you went
if
to
you're
a
from
badass
Chinese
school.
school, it's
Okay.
badass, man. Chinese school is badass until today. Um, I attribute my resilience to advertising. Nothing can be worse than than primary school, man. So like Chinese school was crazy, right?
Yeah.
You used to get caned once for every mistake, like if it's a spelling mistake, if it's 10 questions or
Wow.
10. So, so that's the penalty. So if it's 9 out of 10, it's not 9 out of 10, it's 1K. You missed it by one. And that's why people are obsessed with 100%, right? So yeah, my dad was like, he came in at the start
Hmm.
of one semester, one form, I think from standard four. It's like year 10. Yeah, year 10. He came in to inspect the cane. He looked at the cane
Right.
and told my teacher, you know what? This is not good enough for my son. And he gave two more. He said, these
Right.
are for my son. So these are personal canes. So if anything, you use these because these are thinner. The whiplash is harder and stronger and more efficient. Your cane is too thick. I don't think it has the right mechanics to get the effect that I need from my son. So he gave personalized canes for me, man.
Wow. So
all my
personal.
classmates are like, all my classmates are like, oh my god, man, we're all gonna get it now because they all recognize that cane, right? It's like
So
the
this he did
thinner
in
the
front of.
cane.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
did it. He walked into class. He walked into class, man. I was just sitting there like,
Wow.
oh shit. Yeah.
I can't imagine that, man. Personalized cane giving to your teacher in front of your friends,
Yeah.
and also giving her tutorials.
Tutorials, like the
Oh
logic of
wow.
why this cane, like
Why?
this, yeah, this one whips better, right?
So did
Obviously, she
she?
used it on everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna exactly. I was gonna ask you, was it just specially only for you or for everyone?
No,
So I'm
man,
assuming
everyone got it, man. Everyone got an upgrade.
every.
Everyone got an upgrade in pain.
He talks a lot, you know